What's up, guys? Welcome to my Kevin Durant my career build. Oh my god, the road is long, and yeah, it's really long, and it's gonna take a while. But that's all we got. All we got is time. That's all we have. That's why we're playing this game, because we have nothing else to do with our lives. So we just grind this dog shit game because we can't stop. Because we've been buying it every year, and we will continue to buy it every year, no matter how bad the game gets. So this is the start of a very long and painful journey, but in the end, it may or may not be worth it, but at least we were there for the journey. Well, let me tell you why it's good. So, the KD, why should you make the KD build? Is because it's the ultimate mismatch, really. You can score against 1 to 5. You can post up guards because you're 6'9", you have inside finishing, and then against bigs, if you have a big guarding you, you just beat them off the dribble. And then on defense, right, you can essentially guard 1 to 5. Before we get into the journey, let's talk about the build. Okay, so your position should just be based off your playstyle. So for me, I play more like a playmaker. So I like to play as a point guard. As long as your guy can be 6'9", that's fine. But like we like being a point guard because we want to have the ball in our hands. No homo. Okay, so height, we're gonna make him 6'9", and the reason why I make him 6'9" is because 6'9" is the tallest you can be before you're considered a big. We want our guy to be not a big. We want him to be like a guard or a forward because once you become a big, you a lot of animations become locked. I'm not sure specifically, but like a lot of good animations become locked. The only good animation that you can get as a big really is like standing contact dunks, which are pretty OP to me. But like the trade-off isn't worth it for how much you lose for becoming a big. So we want to keep him at 6'9". You can make him shorter than that, but like as you gain height, you lose speed, and the amount of speed you lose per inch is like varies for the most part. Going from like 6'8" to 6'9" is not a huge difference. Like you don't lose as much as you would if you were going from like 6'5" to 6'6". So 6'9", we're gonna have good height on us, so that's great. Weight, we're gonna put it at minimum because we want our guy to be as fast as possible. The only reason why you go max strength is if you're trying to be like a rim protector or you're going to be playing in the paint like all the time, which we're not going to be. But strength is pretty important to have, and we'll go into that later. But minimum weight because we want to be fast. Wingspan is not max, but it is larger than a default, and we put at 7'4" because we want our three-point shot to be at least an 85, and the wingspan is the largest it can be before it goes under. So if we go to 7'5", our three-point shot's gonna max out at like 84, and I'll go into that later. All right, let's get into the attributes. So when I think of Kevin Durant, right, what do I think of? I think of someone who's tall as fuck, who's fast as fuck, who can dribble the ball like a guard and also like shoot really well. So yeah, so let's talk about attributes for a little bit. So attributes are not equal. When you want to maximize efficiency for your build, you want to think about which attributes are worth investing into and like how far investing into them. You only have so many attributes, and it's important that you don't invest too much into something that you don't really need, because the worst thing that can happen is like you spend fucking weeks grinding your build, you get to the end and you're getting shit on in park, and you're just like, damn, if only I put a little bit more into this instead of that. Where it's like, oh, why did I need those extra like 2 points in like this when I could have used it to put it in that, right? It's like it could have been more efficient. So we're going for max efficiency. Like if you're going to be spending this much time into like something, you want it to be like the best as possible. Okay, so let's get into the attributes. So speed with ball, you obviously want it to be maxed because you want to be as fast as possible. Ball handle, I think a good stopping point for ball handle is probably 85. Well, when I was experimenting with the KD builds in 23 already, the build I made before this had 75 ball handle. I put the other attributes into like vertical and close shot. I got my guy to 75 ball handle, and like he was still like losing like the blow by battles. Like when you try to beat the defender off the dribble and then you bump into them and then they like block you off, and that was happening like all the time. So 75 ball handle I felt like was too low to have. So this build has 85 ball handle, and it's also really good that it has 85 because at 85 ball handle you actually unlock quick first step, which is going to be great because when you're going against bigs, because you're going to be taking them off the dribble, and this is going to help you blow past them. So 85 ball handle is the stopping point. Pass accuracy is not leveled at all because who gives a fuck about pass accuracy? Okay, let's go to shooting. So shooting, 3-point we have at 85, and we have it at 85 because you want to unlock silver limitless range. I feel like limitless range is like pretty broken, and it's like according to like Mike Wang, if you want to consistently green, you got to be like mid to like high 80s. This build has like, it's not going to be like as max shooting as possible, or I'm not maxing out my shooting to like 86 and whatever, because to me that would be inefficient, right? So at 85 is good enough, right? Because we get silver limitless range, and at 86.3 I'm not sure if there's like a a badge you unlock at 86, right? Because when we talk about maximizing efficiency, we want to stop at certain milestones, right? So that we can save those extra attributes we would have spent and put them into other things that we need, right? So 85 and 86 is fine. Get silver limitless range, and at 86 is a good stopping point because we get guard up, which I'm not sure, but I think it's gonna be really good this year because we don't have hot zone hunter. And if you think about it, right, when you talk about shot selection and like what makes a good shot, all your shots should be wide open. So basically, guard up will just boost your wide open shots that you should be taking anyways. So if you're playing smart basketball, this should activate like every single time you take a jump shot, unless it's like the end of the shot clock and you just have to put up a shot. But okay, so let's go into physical attributes. So for physical attributes, obviously we're just gonna max speed and acceleration. This is as fast as your guy can be at 6'9" with minimum weight. Stamina, max stamina. Stamina to me is important, even though I feel like people don't give it enough credit. But like, I think stamina really shines when you're playing defense and like you're having to guard like just like cheesy like left right spamming fucking dribble god retard. So even if you lock him up, he probably has like Hall of Fame handles for days, and he's just gonna like left right until you're out of stamina, and then he's just gonna walk to the rim or just pull up, you know. So if you want to have 99 stamina, even though we're still probably gonna get beat by those Hall of Fame fucking dribble retards, it still at least gives us a better chance. So okay, so vertical is at 72. When I finished building, putting all my attributes into the necessary ones, it stopped at 65, and it was one of those attributes that was left over after I put everything into necessary ones that I filled in after. So 72 was the stopping point that I came up with. Vertical to me is not as important as like other stats. It's nice to have. It's like one of those luxury stats, but it's not like a necessity, right? Because if you think about it, right, vertical is kind of like a last resort, or it's like a bailout stat, where it's like if you play like bad defense, it'll like help you like if you're trying to get the chase down block, or like trying to get the rebound because you couldn't get into position fast enough, right? But if you think about it, if you're in the right position, if you're able to get into a better position than your opponent, you should be successful most of the time. Because think about like if you're going for like a rebound, right? If you get good position, it doesn't matter what your vertical is, and you box them out, you're probably gonna get the rebound. Now compare that to if you're like have bad positioning because you have like no speed, right? You have bad position, but you have good vertical, but you get boxed out. Your vertical is like useless there. And then the whole thing with like the getting blown by and like having to get the chase down block, that could all be avoided if you were able to get into position horizontally first and stop them from even like blowing past you, right? That's why I feel like vertical is overrated. It's nice to have and it's good to have, but it's like when we talk about like efficiency, there's so many other things that we need to invest in before we invest into like vertical. That's why it's at 72. Strength I didn't invest shit into because it is nice to have. It would help because we're going to be posting up guards, but it's like again there's like other attributes that we need, and also like we're also 6'9" compared to guards, so we should be able to back down guards regardless, and guards should have like no strength too. So alright, so let's go into defense. So defense is actually really important. If you think about it, it's half the game, and the easiest way to score is in the fast break, and the only way to get a fast break is to get a stop on defense, because if you don't get the stop, then you're forced to play in half court offense, and it's a lot harder to score compared to fast break offense. Okay, so let's go into the stats. So interior defense, so a good stopping point I felt like was 68, because at 68 you unlock post lockdown, which is pretty important if you have like a big that'll just post you up and then like just drop step and it's basically unguardable. So this should help you like a little bit. You're not going to be like a rim protector, like I said again, like there are a bunch of other sets that we need to invest in, but it's like we don't want our guy to be like completely like useless on the inside, so we need to put something into it. So 68 is good because we get a bronze badge, and like the difference between having no badge and a bronze badge is like huge. So we get bronze post lockdown, we got 68 interior defense. We're also 6'9", so we have a bunch of height to us. Like we have good size, so we're not going to be like a crazy rim protector, but we're going to be able to hold our own. Okay, so perimeter defense, we have it at 86, which allows us to unlock silver clamps. I thought 86 was a good stopping point because the other milestones for perimeter defense to me would be like 70 or 92, which is like bronze and gold, but I felt like 70 was like too low. And then 92 is like I felt like was too much to invest in because we have so many other stats to invest in. Steal 64. If you're like me and you're good at reading passing lanes, then you kind of want some steal, but you don't need it. But it's nice to have like the badge because it'll just help you even more. So we got 64 steal, so we can have bronze glove and bronze interceptor. Okay, so block and rebounding is at 70, and the reason why is because at 70 we unlock anchor and rebound chaser. The reason why rebounding is really important as on this Kevin Durant build is because if we get switched onto a big, we need to be able to get the rebound, assuming we get the stop. Because if we don't get the stop, then they're just going to get the rebound over us again, and they're probably going to score. we're not a great interior defender. We can defend well, but it's like if you give them enough like chances, they're going to score. So we need to make sure we get the rebound and try to minimize their possessions as much as possible, which is just basic, common basketball knowledge. But I feel like a lot of people forget it. So rebounding is definitely pretty important. Blocking is kind of like a luxury, but like I like being able to block shots. Yeah, so if you have good block time, you definitely want anchor and like block rating to help like synergize with your innate blocking talent, timing, whatever. And then finishing, to me, the most important attribute in finishing for this build is probably like, yeah, for most builds really, it's driving dunk, because you get contact dunks, which basically makes your guy a contact player instead of like a non-contact player. And what that means is like if someone's in the paint and you're a non-contact player, you should never take that layup because you're probably not going to make it if you're being guarded. But the great thing about like being a contact player is that like if someone's in the paint, like you can still score like pretty often. But you should definitely not rely on it for sure. Even if you have contact dunks, you should not rely on taking contested layups or like going for contact dunks, because it's not good shot selection, right? Your shots should be wide open. Every single shot should be wide open. Your shooting, your jump shots, your layups should all be wide open. Most builds that like I make, like if I'm making like a sweat build, he's not having inside finishing at all. Everything is going to ball handling, defense, shooting, and like athleticism. And if you take a wide open layup with like nothing into driving layup or anything, you'll still make the layup. Inside finishing to me is kind of like a luxury. But this is my KD build. This is for fun, but it also gets the job done. So that's why I really like this build. Because even though it's like for fun, it could still like compete. So driving dunk 85 because we get silver posterizer, and that's pretty big. You could stop at 84 and you still get contact dunks, but 85, I feel like the one extra attribute really makes a difference because you get silver posterizer. The next most important stat, in my opinion, for this KD build is post control. Half the time you're going to be trying to score against guards, and you're going to be posting them up. You're not going to be taking them off the... Oh, shit. So you're not going to be taking guards off the dribble. You're going to be posting them up, because that's where you have the mismatch. That's where you have the advantage, right? This KD build is all about maximizing your advantages to make the game as easy as possible for you. We want post control because it's already going to be easy enough to score on them because we're 6'9", and the guard is probably going to be like 6'5" or like smaller. But having these, having post control, having these badges really makes it a lot easier to score, and it's almost like guarantees that we're going to score. But if we do get a big switch onto us, we just take them off the dribble, right? That's why we have ball handling. That's what makes this KD build so broken. 80 post control, we unlock Hall of Fame post spin technician, which is just like broken. You just do one move and you just get to the basket. It's actually broken. And you also get like gold dream shake and drop stepper, which is also really good. Next most important one is probably driving layup. I was like experimenting with like what the best stopping point for driving layup is, and I think 89 is probably the best because it's already high enough already, and like you already have the best like badges that you need. Like gold, I feel like is good enough. So at 89 you get gold slithery. You also get all these other good finishing badges. I don't feel like you need to go higher than that because the majority of your shots aren't going to be on the inside, right? You're not going to have to rely on your gold acrobat or gold fearless finisher. These are like bailout badges and attributes, right? When like the shot clock's winding down, you have to put up a shot and you take it to the basket and you get like a lucky contact dunk, or like you take a contested layup, but you have good inside finishing and badges that you're able to make it anyways. So that's why driving layup is like a luxury. And then I had excess attributes left over. That's so all these stats right here is basically all the necessary stats that I needed for this KD build. And so for the attributes that I had left over, I put as much as I could in the close shot, right? And then when I couldn't put any more in the close shot, I put them into my vertical. Yeah, this is the KD build right here. I just took a lot of experimentation, a lot of trial and error, a lot of grinding the KD build prototypes, but this is what I finally have came up with, and I think this is probably the most efficient KD build that I could build in 2K23. There are weaknesses to this build. Well, the most glaring one would be your speed, I guess. Like, it doesn't even matter, like, what the outplay is. Like, if you're just faster than them, you can just outrun them. And especially because I'm playing on PC, is that there are a bunch of hackers in the park. So this build will get destroyed by hackers probably because they're going to have 110 speed, and I'm going to have 83 speed. So that's a no. But if you're on, like, console and there's no hackers, which I assume most people are, then this build should be fine. You would probably be unguardable with this build. The other weakness to this build is that you're not a great defender, I guess. Like, you're just not like crazy fast. Just because you're 6'9", but you are as fast as you can be at 6'9" with this build. I mean, that's just the price you pay for being 6'9". Two weaknesses are hackers and athleticism, but athleticism is only because you're 6'9". If you're on PC and you do want to make a build against hackers, then I would recommend going for a build that is as fast as possible, like 94 speed. 6'5", obviously you're going to be undersized, but like having that extra speed, like if you can get to that spot first, like they're still probably going to score, but like, you know, at least you're able to get there in time and contest it. But yeah, this is the KD build. It's fucking broken. It's so much fun to play, at least in past 2Ks, and man, I can't wait to fucking grind. I can't wait to spend just fucking hours and days and weeks and months into this game just grinding. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You know, if you want to make this build, go for it. Or if you don't want to make this build, at least I hope this video gave you like some insight on how to build efficiently, I guess, and what to spend your attributes on and stuff like that. So yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching. Peace.